We want to welcome you guys to L3 Perspective. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Glenn Davis. I'm sitting here with my guy, Cameron Macias.
It's your boy, Killer Cam.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the L3 Perspective, where we talk about life, love, and leadership. My name is Glenn Davis. I'm sitting here with my guy, Cameron Macias.
Hey, Coach Cam.
Yeah, and again, we want to welcome you back to the L3 Perspective. We want to thank you for tuning in. Obviously, this is a platform where we're able to bring people into our space because we have so many great conversations, and we just want to continue to add value to folks. But, Cam, what you got for us?
Yep. So as per the usual, you guys, like, love, subscribe, message us, tell us what you do like, tell us what you don't like. Message us if you feel like there is someone that we should have on the podcast who you feel can bring value to the listeners, because at the end of the day, that's who we do it for. We do it for y'all. We do it for the knowledge. We do it for the culture. We do it for everybody, okay? But, you know, I am very excited about the guest today. I'm going to let you introduce him.
Awesome.
This is your man.
Absolutely.
So let's get it right.
Absolutely. So, guys, super excited about today's guest, Anthony McDonald. First and foremost, thank you for coming in. Anthony is someone that I call Unc.
Yeah.
Right? You know, like you have those individuals where you kind of they're the OGs. They have a lot of wisdom. You can call them up. But I value everything that he's doing in the community. I value how he leads his home, and he just ties into life, love, and leadership, man. So had to invite him onto the podcast. But the founder of Leaders of Men, Anthony McDonald, welcome to the podcast.
One love, fellas. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. Definitely thank you for having me on the show, man. And I'm proud of you guys, man. You know, nephew, you was talking about the whiteboard. You said, I got something on the whiteboard I'm pulling off. Hey, when we were camping, we were talking about vision. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And I can see your vision came to fruition, man. That's cool. Congratulations.
Absolutely.
To both of you guys.
Absolutely.
Thank
you.
Absolutely. It's a great thing when you have a community of folks who are like-minded and that see vision, that see big picture outside the box and just ready to execute. And that's what this guy, he's an executor. So,
man. I'm like, you get like the Wu-Tang, you get with a set, you know what I'm saying? Set the wall out. You know
Yes. So, speaking of Wu-Tang, right? East Coast, New York.
Yes, sir.
Tell us a little bit of your background, and then, like I said, we'll fast forward to talking about Leaders of Men, because that's something exciting that many people should hear about.
Okay, well, my journey. I was born in Berkeley, raised in East Oakland, lived all over East Oakland and Berkeley. When I was about 11 and 12, we moved to San Diego. Supposed to have been better for my asthma, and my brother's asthma didn't work out, and so we ended up living in a couple of moving into shelters because of empty promises. Let's just put it that way. And so we stayed in a few shelters and those things when I was in the 7th grade, man. And we ended up at the Keystone Hotel, which was crazy. You know, everybody in the hotel room and one bathroom and one kitchen and different families and all these things. I think that's where I got my love for different cultures. You got people I won't say starving, because we didn't starve, but you had Irish food over here, Mexican food over here. Of course, my mom making her food, and different entities. And then so we lived in San Diego for a while there, and then we moved to Brooklyn, New York. It's like the fire pan into the fire.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, it was you talking about a culture shock, man. Now, I had been to Brooklyn before, family reunions and those things, but never to live. And so put a 12-year-old in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And it was, my language, it was hell.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just want to give it to you 100, man.
Yeah.
Our first night in Brooklyn, my cousin Mert, they called him Dirty Mert, but they, you know what I'm saying? So him and his crew, the St. Mark's crew, man, they used to go out all night robbing and stealing. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't know New York was about robbing and stealing like that. Now, I remember, like in the 70s, my grandmother had got her purse snatched when she was coming from work.
Yeah.
But fast forward to us moving out there. We moved into my grandmother's house because she had passed away, and him and about 9 of his boys came to the house, to our house, about 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning. They had garbage bags just full of sneakers and diapers and batteries and cigarettes, and
Holy
they been out
cow.
all night hitting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're talking culture shock. You know what I mean, for a 12-year-old. And so New York was it was straight lessons. It was fast lessons. You had to learn real fast on. We talk about respect and disrespect, and how little that line was.
Yeah.
You know, people think, I mean, what you would think is not disrespect, cats would take that and run 100 miles on disrespect. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just to, so we had to learn fast on that, man. So,
Gotcha.
we spent about 5 years in New York. Of course, we adapt. You have to adapt to your surroundings.
Yeah.
Mine was more partying, working. I always held a job, no matter if I was, $24 a week.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If 8 hours after school every day, you bring home $24.
Right.
No, I'm sorry, $27. And the lesson behind that was, it was Mr. Jordan. They owned the Monaco Lounge, old Jamaican dude, and he paid us on Wednesday because you wouldn't spend your money on the weekend. You know what I'm saying? What a lesson. So, but just lived in New York for those years. Had a tough time reading and writing, and I got bullied a lot at school because I'm blind in my left eye, and I had braids coming down here. I'm the California kid. You know what I'm saying? And so I would literally leave school in the 7th grade and get on a train. So in New York, you can jump the train styles. I don't know if it is like that now, but you can jump the train styles and just bounce on the train and go. So in 7th grade, man, I used to get on the train and go and meet different people, see different things. And my mom didn't really check up on me like that. You know what I'm saying? So as long as I came home after school, you know what I'm saying? So then, 17, moved back to Oakland. Ended up going to Castlemont High School. My first day there, we seen a kid walking down the hallway with an Uzi. So my mom started crying. She's like, man, Well, I'll tell you, the reason why we moved from Brooklyn, my younger brother and my older brother were getting into trouble. They were headed to jail.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So mom's like, I got to get you guys out of here. So anyway, me being 17, going to high school in California, see a kid walking down the hallway with an Uzi, and my mom just looked at me, started crying. She's like, I'm sorry. Oh, what are you talking about? She was like, I thought I was getting you out of that in New York. Well, it turns out Oakland had got different. It was different because of the dope.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The drugs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So now everything that we used to know in East Oakland, it changed.
Right.
Yeah.
Back in the day, it was more motorcycle clubs. You can leave your door open. It was cool. It was music everywhere.
Yeah.
But, next thing you know, 1984, cocaine hit.
Yeah.
Everybody's a drug dealer. And we talking my age. I'm 55. So we're talking, 17-year-olds, 16-year-olds, 15-year-olds.
Yeah.
With these nice Cougars and Mustangs and Falcon boys and you know what I'm saying, and with the, it was a different game,
Right.
But you just learn how to, you just once again you learned how to adapt. You know what I'm saying? You navigate through that, man. So anyway, that's a little bit about me, man. You know what I'm saying? Moving around and. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but East Oakland don't mind, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got you. So East Coast to West Coast, West Coast to East Coast, back to the West Coast. No.
Yeah.
Now, so real quick, Leaders of Men, right? Talk to it. Share with us what Leaders of Men is, like, kind of why you founded it. So I know you a lot of life experiences, and if you could share that with us.
So my brother, my older brother, was killed in 2017, just walking home.
Oh wow.
And let's just say this: I was already we already suffer from depression because of where we come from. I told you about the shelters and some of the things we went through, and then growing up in New York, it was hardcore.
Right.
And as a kid, you trauma, you know what I'm saying? Those things.
Yeah.
So that never leaves you. And then I've lost a lot of people in my life. You know what I'm saying? So when my brother hit, because my mom had just died in 2015, and then one of my best friends we were just kicking it, and he died, and then next thing you know, my brother got killed. So that sent me into a depression. So I'm sitting in the garage one day, man, like I'm sitting in the garage now, but I'm sitting in the garage and I'm going through it. And I just had surgery on my chest, so I'm really going through it. And I hear Steve Harvey come on the TV. He says, "Stop running from your gifts, your dreams." And I start thinking, what are my gifts? I know I have dreams. I used to really have dreams, but and he said, I'm thinking, I said, well, thinking to myself, I want to help people. I've always helped people. I'm my mom. And so I've raised men, you know what I mean? Men, and so I was like, you know what? I could be a counselor. I didn't know a mentor. I just thought it was a counselor.
Yeah.
And so next thing you know, I was like, okay, well, let me try. Let me, maybe that's it. And so I went to Solano College, where my children go now. And I tried to, get a certificate or something like that. They said, no, you need a high school diploma or GED. Well, I left school in the 10th grade, and so I was like, well, all right, let me go try to get my GED, man, and see if I can do that. Turns out, again, I still can't do algebra. You know what I'm saying? I just
No one
can't
can
do
I
algebra.
was going to say, no one's...
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So me, just ideas, my wife married a dreamer. I was like, all right, I'm going to sell fine cigars. You know what I'm saying? So I went to the county building to get my beer and wine license.
Okay.
And the way the city was kind of set up, they're, looking at me crazy. Or what are you going to open up a smoke shop, this and that? No, fine cigars. So the guy was like, well, is that what you really want to do? And I said, no, I want to be a counselor. He was like, I said, a counselor, a mentor. He's like, you don't need a degree for that. I was like, what? He was like, yeah. He was like, here, just fill this out. I was like, oh, okay. And he's like, since you already got a home-based business, which is my process serving business, anytime process serving, you got to serve, we got the nerve. The nerve to serve, get it? You know what I'm saying? So,
Love it.
yeah. So he was like, they didn't charge me for it, for the license. So he was like, you got a name? And I was like, yeah, Leaders of Men. He was like, I like that. And so he was like, does anybody own that name? So I was like, oh, wait a minute. Let me go across the street, and nobody owns the name. I turned it into Quick LLC, and did that. And then I had all of these plans on, how can I mentor? How can I do this? And how things just start coming to you.
Yeah.
The vision, we were talking about vision. You can see, what can't nobody else see. Trust me. What I'm saying? And because, you got to believe in you, walk in your purpose. So anyway, as I started thinking about it and days go by, I was like, you know what? I can turn this into a nonprofit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I started learning. I was like, okay, wait a minute. And so I hooked up with LegalZoom.
Okay.
And got with LegalZoom, and they was like, yeah, it's over $1,000, this and that. Oh, I can't do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The lady goes, well, you can make payments. I was like, oh, okay, I can make payments. You know what I'm saying?
They got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. So I started making the payments on it, and the lady on the other end. The lady on the other end of that phone must have been God's angel, because everything I told her that I was telling her about, my vision, she was writing it down. And so she sent it to me, and I signed off on it, and we sent it off to the IRS. Man, it passed the first time.
Oh, wow.
It passed the very first time. She was like, this never happens. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And and she was, it must have been God's angel on that phone, man. But we got our determination letter, and I just been building ever since, man. And then nephew, meeting people like yourself or dressing for success, and you come on out there. I'm like, yeah, yeah. You know what I'm saying? So people,
Yeah.
people support you and, those things. So
You talk vision. So the first time I met Anthony, it was through a flyer I seen on Nextdoor.
Yeah.
And I went out to the event.
Yeah, we talked about it.
Yeah,
You showed it to me. Yeah, he's like, hey, check it out. I'm gonna go check this thing out. And I was like, that sounds dope.
I park and I'm walking up and I see this guy who's super passionate, super loud, like, hey, just kind of talking about dressing for success and instilling in the youth. And I was just like, I like this guy. And so, long and behold, we've stayed in contact, but there are, you talk about vision and passion, like it's something when you combine those two to, again, we were just talking about legacies earlier, and I was kind of sharing this before, like a legacy is not what you leave for people, but what you leave in them. And that's what I see leaders of men doing. That's what I see you doing with the platform. And so,
thank you.
Can you? Yeah, absolutely. I don't want to take. So I want to ask you this regarding leaders of men. What are some things that you talk about under that leaders of men umbrella to the youth or whoever?
Well, we usually talk about respect first. We shouldn't have a conversation about anything, especially when we're doing mentoring, unless we're on the same page with respect. What does it look like for you? What does it look like for me? Because once again, we're talking about the disrespect and how that's a fine line. You know what I mean? Something you might find offensive or something I might find offensive. Next thing you know, there's the elephant in the room. You know what I mean? So we don't want to go there. So we're on the same page with respect. And so now we're more speaking on, the respect part is for everybody, adults, youngsters, whatever. The self-respect part goes more for our youngsters because they're still trying to find their way, right? So we have to give them a window of what it looks like to like yourself, to love yourself, to respect yourself, and to have boundaries. You know what I mean? So all of these things are tied into self-respect, right? So if somebody's treating you bad, and you're like, well, no, you got to learn to say something. You have a voice, ask for help. You know what I'm saying? So those things on the self-respect part. Then there's, it's character, it's self-management, it's okay to say self-management is having control of your actions, your attitudes. Remembering that it's okay to say yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. Knowing that if you get into a confrontation, you're not a sucker if you walk away. You know what I mean? It's okay to walk away from a fight. You know what I mean? So, but as teenagers, we're taught to fight first, not work it out. See, this is your weapon. Your mind is your weapon. So a lot of youngsters don't know how to utilize that weapon. You know what I'm saying? They're going from here, not here. And so when me growing up in New York, one thing I was always taught is to go from here. But one thing my mom taught me was to go from here. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to be the toughest cat here. You know what I'm saying? But I got to know how to navigate through any situation through my mind. So that's the self-management part. So we talk about the self-management. We talk about character. We talk about domestic violence among teenagers. What does it look like? What have they seen so far? What do they know about it? I just had a class on it the other day. Every other Wednesday, I'm at the Sierra Charter School, and they allow me to come in and mentor their youngsters there on a voluntary basis. That the youngsters they elect to come into the class. They're not made to do it. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And so, which is cool, is that 20 of them come back every time. You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
So I'm not making you come back. They come back because they want to be there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so we talk about those things. So in front of me, I have a few books that I've created, right? And so this one is introduction booklet. This is like my very first one. Okay. And each one of these booklets pretty much contain the same thing, recognizing your gifts, respect, self-management, the dressing for success. Where I learned in New York, I learned dressing for success in New York my teacher, Mr. Ivy, in the 7th grade. You had to come to his class on Mondays, and he either had a bunch of ties, right, and showed us how to tie ties. He sat us down and we had to give each other job interviews. In the 7th grade, I'm 12 years old. Now I remember this, and so he let you know he was 100. He said, a lot of you cats ain't gonna make it. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all gonna be dead, some of y'all gonna be in jail, and some of y'all just gonna be working at the local store. You know what I'm saying? So he taught us how to dress for success. I came up with the rite of passage. Ken, we were talking, G, we're talking about this one, the rite of passage. This one is it's an 8-week course to get youngsters to focus on some of those things that we talked about. You know, the most important thing, again, the respect part, you know, the transition, just, separation from your boys and, the knuckleheads, you know what I'm saying? No disrespect, but, the wildness and break you down and fill you back up with all of these things that we're talking about. And then this one right here is just the complete handbook of all of those things that we talked about. Even barbecuing, as we always love to cook.
Y'all two gonna get along.
Yeah, man. Hey, food goes into everything you do, every part of life. We incorporate food, man. You know what I'm saying? My mom always, once again, I always go back to my mom because she was the mother of the block. You come to her house always, she got a pot of something going, you know what I'm saying? And you can eat. It's nothing, a lot of families are like that. At least there's a lot of families that I know, but it's love and food. And if y'all don't mind, I'm gonna plug my book. Right? And so this says The Big Black Man, right? Which is a stereotype, a stigma. People see, oh, that's just the big black man. He can't be hurt. He doesn't have feelings. He doesn't, you know what I'm saying? He can't love those things. So some people look at you as the big black man. You know what I'm saying? In our cases. Yeah. And then on here it says food, family, and friends. Right? And so how those things intertwine. In this book, I talk about an Italian lady when I was 10 years old. I worked for her in East Oakland, and she taught me how to make spaghetti. Now, I knew how to make spaghetti, but not with Italian sausage.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's different.
And meatballs. You know what I'm saying? Just imagine that. This lady's teaching you that. You know what I'm saying? And when we lived in the Keystone Hotel, and I talked about all of those families and nationalities, it was all kinds of food. I know, chorizo and eggs, and I know how to make tamales now. I know how to, you know what I'm saying? It's just so much. And then moving to New York, it's the mecca of food. Not just Italian food, Asian food. My family's Jamaican. You got Jamaican peas and rice. You know what I'm saying? You got jerk chicken. You got curry goat. You got, you know what I'm saying? And, going to my grandmother's house and there's food in life. There's food when somebody dies, you celebrate with food. You know what I'm saying? And it's comfort food, and you know what I'm saying? And those things. So I put all of that in the book. I talked about being in an interracial relationship at 17, moving to California, and some terrible things with that situation. Not knowing that your family or friends could either have envy, hate, jealousy, all of these things because of what you're doing.
Right.
Yeah.
And back this time it's like 1984. So you know what I'm saying? It's new. You know what I mean?
Where can people find the book?
You said what?
Where can people find the book? Where can they?
It's on Amazon. It's on Amazon. You can get the hard copy or you can get the ebook. I ranked it from 14 to 18 years old because that's where I was in this time. Yeah. Now the book is rushed, right? So I wanted write this book before my birthday. So it took maybe 2 months, and I wrote it on my phone. Okay,
Oh, there you go.
I wrote the
The
book on
power
my
of technology.
phone. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You know how you want to do something and then it's
Mhm.
burning? You know, it's
Yeah.
burning in your head, you know. So I just wanted to put that out there, man. And I never thought I could do that. You know, I didn't read my first book until I was 40 years old.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah,
That's that's
that's
that's
me.
that's that's powerful. I mean, just to know to go from someone who couldn't read or write or dropped out at 10th grade to be a published author, to be a visionary, to you know what I mean,
Business owner.
what'd you say?
Nonprofit business owner at that.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
that in itself is a feat.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's pretty dope.
A lot of
I
those
love.
things, though, man, you gotta, sometimes we gotta understand that, people think you're weak if you don't ask for help. You know what I'm saying? So, me, even as a kid, I asked for help, right?
Mhm.
In certain things. You know, the
Yeah.
reading and writing part, to be honest, that was embarrassing. So I never
Yeah.
asked for help. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? Now I gotten older, I learned, it's okay. People will
Mhm.
look at you, oh, that's not weak. And then so I preach that to youngsters and let them know it's
Yeah.
okay to ask for help, man.
Mhm.
So we gotta make sure we really put that out there to our youngsters or just to anybody that it's okay. The big black man needs help too. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Gotcha.
I like what you said about the people aren't taught to walk away from fights. Like
You said
when
what?
we're young, I said I like how you said like when kids younger, they're not taught to walk away from fights. Like they're just
Right.
taught to automatically be violent.
Right.
That was something that I talk about to this day. As far as I always tried to walk away,
Right.
and people wouldn't let me.
Right.
And so
Right.
and so it almost it forced the violence out of me
Right.
because I'd say, hey, I don't want this. We just don't need to talk to each other, whatever. And then it was always aggressive nature from the other person. At that point, I was like, well, then I'm gonna defend myself.
There
And
you go. Right.
like don't be surprised because I'm trying to get out of the fight that I don't know how to defend myself.
Right, right,
So,
yeah, it doesn't make you weak. It doesn't
Yeah.
make you weak, man. I tell my youngsters, I say, in a fight, nobody wins because
Yeah.
that means we lose the ability to think and
To control
communicate.
ourselves.
Now,
Yeah.
in a fight, three things can happen. I'm gonna beat you up, you're gonna beat me up, or we're gonna beat each other up. Who wins?
Yeah.
You
No
know what I'm
one.
saying? I mean, it's just
Right.
real talk.
Mhm.
And with you guys, as men, people are always trying to prove their manhood.
No.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? When, like you said, you were trying to walk away. I tried to walk away from a lot of fights. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? But once again, Al Pacino, they pull you
Mhm.
back in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you just in that case, but we just gotta let youngsters know that fight from here.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Let it
Fight
be
from
known.
here.
There is a winner. It was me.
Yeah, that's too funny. I mean, we're coming close to wrapping it up, but I do want to ask this question. As you've navigated through life, again, being a visionary, being passionate about what you do, I think something that people need to hear from strong men, as far as like the transparency, right? Have you experienced anything in your, in your last couple years being a nonprofit owner, because strong men are said to be on this specific pedestal, like we're not human, and then life happens to us. Do you have anything that you would like to share, as far as an experience and a lesson within that experience that you can share with our listeners?
I would say trust. Trust is a powerful word. Loyalty, it's a powerful word. Those things don't go together at all. Um, uh, Believe in you. You have to put that. You have to put that best foot forward. Try new things. Don't depend on everybody else to believe in your journey. So I don't. This is not a religious platform, but I believe God gave it to you for you. right?
Yeah.
So we got to remember that it's okay for family and friends to not believe in your journey, to not believe in what you're doing. So, because a stranger can come up and help you more than somebody you know and love. You know what I mean?
Right.
So we have to believe in ourselves. We have to go after your dreams. You know, it's just so many things that you can do to succeed. I don't know if you guys remember the Denzel Washington thing. Or no, I'm sorry, not the Denzel Washington thing. The Martin Luther King he said, fly to your dreams. If you can't fly, run. If you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, crawl. But get there. You know what I'm saying? To follow your dreams. I put in 30-something years in the warehouse, man. My body's gone. And trying to handle to be the best man I can be and be a father, you know, a husband and all of these things. You try to think outside the box. You know what I mean? And you try to, because you're not going to lay down and fight. I mean, you're not going to lay down. You're going to fight. Keep fighting. You know what I mean? So believe in your dreams. You can do anything. And it's okay to ask for help. So I'll leave that there. Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. And if you don't mind me saying, Leaders of Men is a nonprofit organization focused on mentoring our youth in our communities. Please go to leadersofmeninc.org. That's our website. We are 100% nonprofit. You can make a donation there, but please do me a favor, check out the website, then make the donation, so you'll know what you're donating, and donating in love. We appreciate you.
I love that.
Boom.
Yeah. You want to close this out?
He was talking about that. He said like the elevator snippet that you have is like perfect and it's smooth and it says exactly what the organization does. But no, I mean I appreciate you, Anthony. I look forward to meeting you in person, doing some things. I know Glenn has talked to me about some of the workshops and things that maybe we can help out with. And
yes,
at the end of the day, I think it's important. So I grew up in the Bay. I'm from the Bay. Only child to a single mother. Moved around a whole lot. So
one love to moms. One love to moms.
Mom, me and Mom are still straight. She taught me a lot of things, but so I appreciate like those other stories of that's why me and Glenn connect so much. Same thing, it's just because I think a lot of people probably didn't think we were going to do very much when we got older. And we obviously have not only probably proven ourselves wrong because we probably believed it for a second, but we've also proved society wrong a lot too. And so I appreciate meeting other men like yourself who kind of proved that lesson that, mothers can raise amazing men too.
Yes.
I appreciate you guys. I'm proud of y'all, man. Do your thing, brother. Do your thing.
Appreciate it.
But per the usual, as we wrap up, don't forget, like, love, subscribe, let us know. Please check out leadersofmeninc.org, to see what you can donate to, see how you can get involved. And ultimately just, they have a great thing going, and the more support that they can have, the more that they can do for the community.
Yes.
But other than that,
appreciate you guys tuning into the L3 Perspective, Life, Love, Leadership. We out.
See y'all later.